exhausting to be an awesome woman. It really is. And a lot of people will hate you for it. So expect the hate and just, let it go. If you don't stand up for yourself, then who will? You can't blame other people for your life decisions and your life choices. And even if something happens to you, or maybe you've been victimized, at the end of the day, you have to be the person that saves yourself. That's what I learned about myself and my life. You have to be the person who saves yourself and gets yourself out of any kind of situation you're in, and believe in fighting for your life, believe in, making changes, and believing in yourself. Okay. Hello, you guys. Welcome to my channel. It's me. You guys already know the title. You already see what it's about. This is going to be talking about my glow up journey as well as your glow up journey. So if you already don't know, my name is Nadia Pink, and to be festive, I have on my pink clothes, my pink eyeshadow, my pink beautiful nails, and I'll show you guys this later after the video. And of course, we got the pink cup. So let me take a sip. I'm sorry, I need a sip. Just right. So, okay. So January is almost over. We had last year. It's going to be February. And I just wanted to just go ahead and kind of talk to you guys about what I want to focus on this year and kind of reflect on last year briefly. And maybe that'll give you guys an opportunity to reflect on your last year and to maybe think about this year. So I want to look at it as it's not any, honestly, I have to just say that I feel like last year was a good year for me overall. It started off pretty fabulous if I want to review. January, I did a contract job last year and I made a good amount of money doing that. And then February, March, April, May, I was a housewife, and that was amazing. That was like the best time of my life ever. I traveled the world with my husband. He had to go to work in Germany, Czech Republic. So we went to Germany, Czech Republic, and France last year. So I had my eat, love, pray moment. And it was like solo traveling because my husband was at work all day and I had to just kind of explore the first week. The second week we kind of explored Europe. So that was amazing. And if you're part of this community and our community, you know that I'm a nurse, you know that I love homemaking, you know I love decorating, I love church and Jesus and trying my best to be close as possible to that. I'm not perfect. I have my weaknesses. I have my flaws. I do things that I could do better, but I always try to stick to what I know from what I learned and, in my heart, what I feel like is right. And I feel like the closer I am to God and the closer I follow that practice of glorifying God in my life, the better my life ends up being. So, everything. So that's why I mentioned my spirituality, is because it's kind of the base of who I am, whether I like it or not. Okay, so let's just get that over with. So review last year. And so when it was time for me to work in May, it was a little rocky in May because I was like, it's time for me to go to work. And I didn't get like the opportunity to like I usually do, where I just right away get a job, offer an interview right at the, offering that quick. So it was a little rocky, but I got this job. It's going well. It's not perfect, but it's a job at the end of the day, but it's going smoothly and I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty pleased. So that's what we're just going to talk about here. So if you're working, if you're single, if you're married, if you have children, if you don't have children, I'm just going to share with you guys a couple of my glow up video. And what was inspired me to make this video is I was talking to my good friend and I was talking about my hair. We talk about everything, but I was just talking about my hair journey and how I am embracing my natural hair more often. I always wear my natural hair curly, but I also straighten my hair a lot. I also used to dye my hair a lot. So 2-3 years ago, I had to cut off all my hair and I'm just slowly growing my hair back. And this time I've been kind of not putting a lot of heat in my hair and just kind of letting my hair just naturally be curly and just doing other things to my hair. So I was just talking about that and I was asking her, how does she wash her hair and what steps does she take to wash her hair? So then that's when she said, oh, you're in your glow up journey. And so I thought about it and I said, am I in my glow up journey? Is that what's going on here? So that is what this is about. So I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the things that I want to focus on this year, and just going to share that with you guys, how we can go through. And I'll go ahead and tell you, it's Glow Up Journey, and so I have it in a couple of sections. I have the gym, and then with the gym is health, body, mind, and spiritual life. And then I have beauty. With beauty goes with my hair, my confidence, my self-acceptance, my skincare, my nails, and my fashion style, like how I want to dress, how I want to present myself to the world. You know, that's part of my beauty. And notice that I also put confidence in there, because it doesn't matter how beautiful people might think you are or how beautiful you might think you are if you don't believe it in yourself. You always have to remember that inner beauty is the strongest beauty that you can have. You can be the most physically attractive, most beautiful person, but if you're nasty, if you're mean, if you're rude all the time, you know, we all have our bad days, not to say, you know, but if you have those characteristics, you're not lovable, you're not kind, you're not caring, you're just, when people see you, they're just like, oh Lord, here comes grumpy Magoo, that's gonna take away your beauty. So that's why I put that in beauty. It's not just about the physical appearance. It's what is your aura? How do people feel when they're around you? How do people respond to you? That's what beauty means to me as well. And then I put down career, and with career, I put down career, communication, finance, vocab, patience, YouTube, my LLC, business, responsibility, accountability. That's what I put down for career. And then I put my another section that I want to talk about briefly is love and home and relationships. We're going to put that all into a bucket. So basically, managing our home, having date night, and family planning, taking care of my parents, making sure that they're okay, because, you know, there's an ecosystem when you have a family. You're not just thinking about yourself. You might be thinking about your cousins, your family, your aunties, your uncles, your parents. So thinking about my parents, how I can help them better, because, you know, they're getting older, I'm getting older. Decorating, how I'm gonna clean, my maintenance in my home. Is there any kind of things I want to declutter? Things like that. My friendships, you know. Sorry. And my puppy, you know, because she's family to me. She's home. And then another section I put in here is my hobbies. What am I doing to nurture my hobbies? Some people say they don't have hobbies, and I can understand. I am losing touches with my hobby. I consider my YouTube channel my hobby, because, you know, there's not a lot of great financial things that I'm getting out of it right now, but I enjoy it. It makes me happy. I can do it. It helps overall. It makes me happy. I like doing it. I like exploring. I like the community that we're building here. Also, you guys might not know, but I like singing. I like dancing. I like drawing. I like doing art. I like writing. I like reading. I like doing things like that. Those are my hobbies. You know, I draw, I doodle, I paint, I do arts and crafts, and I like to do plants and gardening and things like that. I consider that my hobby. So I want to make sure this year that I continue to nourish my hobbies, because my hobbies is important to me. And then I made another section in the back is like finance. Things are a little bit, you know, financial cushion, secondary source of income. I love having a second job or another way to make income. I don't like just having one job and that being my only source of income. So just kind of see how I can explore on that. My savings, how I'm going to budget this year, what can I change? Because my husband and I, we had a budget system last year. I want to reevaluate our budget system. You know, really leaning into retirement, just trying to plan that out. Planning out what kind of business ideas or business I might want to get into. Emergency funds, track spending, less consumerism, monthly goals, build wealth. And then I talk about, then I have another point right here, gems. Be direct, expect, you know, malicious people, expect people who are liars. You know, just expect people to do things and say things and not take it personally, how people treat you. I used to wonder, like, why do they treat me like this? Why don't they like me? What did I do? Why is it like this? It doesn't matter at the end of the day. People are always going to dislike you. People are always maybe going to love you and like you. But as long as you know that you're doing the right thing, then try not to take that personally. That's what I'm saying to myself. And then I put a little funny thing, no more nice girl. So yeah, If you're interested in listening to all me blab about all these things, tune in. Okay, are you guys ready? Another sip of coffee. Okay. As you know, I am a nurse, and that is integral to my life and who I am as a person. A lot of us nurses, some people think that we might be obsessed with being a nurse. I know that some people say that, or sometimes I feel like we're obsessed about it. But at the end of the day, it's part of our identity. If you're a police officer, it's part of your identity. If you're a judge, it's part of your identity. If you're a hairdresser, it's part of who you are. Whatever occupation you have, most of the times if it's something specialized that way, it's part of who you are. Even my husband, he fixes machines and buildings and stuff like that. That's part of his identity, because that's what he does. Even when he's home here, he fixes things, builds things, even on his days off, you know. So I have seen a lot of things when it comes to healthcare. And before I didn't become a nurse, I didn't realize how sick people could get. And so that kind of scares me a little bit. So I want to make sure that I'm on top of my health. I'm looking at my body. I'm not only just looking at how it looks physically, but hopefully making sure that it's internally intact. And some of those things that can help you is just know that it is true. What we eat is kind of decides the quality of our life. Like, are we eating, you know, fruits and vegetables? You know, I have a blog, and I'll put my blog article that I wrote. I took a lot of time in that article, so if you want to read about it, it's really good. It talks about the mind, body, and soul, and all those things when it comes to being health conscious. So some of those things is I want to continue to go walking at the park. If I don't go walking at the park during the winter time, I want to make sure that I go to the YMCA and go walking upstairs somewhere. I want to start doing some weight training. I've been doing a lot of walking because I don't like doing hard, crazy workouts. I rather just do a whole bunch of simple workouts and then ease my way in and do some weights. But this year I'm adding in weight training again. So I'm doing my arms, my legs, my stomach. I do have a goal. It might not be your goal. I do want to make my waistline smaller because, believe it or not, if your waistline is larger than a certain number, it increases your risk for cardiovascular disease as well as diabetes. And I know those just sound like buzzwords to you, but when you end up getting into those problems, it's more than just buzzwords. It affects your mobility, it affects your memory, it affects how you can move around and all those things. So I want to stay on top of that, especially being a woman who is in her late 30s now, or like kind of mid 30s, about to be late 30s. It gets even more serious because I'm approaching getting older. Not like old, but getting up there in age. So that's what I notice is the older we get, most of the times that's when problems start to creep up on us. So it's not too late to change if you're in your 40s, 50s, or whatever, but it's just something to be mindful of. Our body is no longer our body is no longer moves the way that it used to. We've been alive longer. We have more wear and tear. We have to, be careful what we do. We don't bounce back as fast as we did when we were younger. So this time matters. This is the youngest I'm going to be, and I need to build that strength right now as much as I can. Now, granted, I did do a lot of those things in my 20s. So if you're in your 20s, the earlier, the better. The longer that you choose this lifestyle of trying to be as healthy as possible, the better. And it's not because I'm worrying, it's because I'm caring. There's a difference between worrying and caring. Okay, and so with that goes your mind. I feel like a lot of the things that can get in people's way is our mentality, how we view the world, how we let our emotions take over. It's natural for us to be emotional and all those kind of things, but how do you manage your emotions? Do you let your emotions take over you? And that's something I want to work on this year. Sometimes I can be anxiety driven, and I noticed, man, did I get this anxiety from my parents? Because we had like a little health scare, and I saw a little bit of the anxiety in my parents when it came into that, and I said, okay, this makes sense. I noticed when they were scared that something was happening, thank the God, Lord, everything's okay, it's not bad. There was a lot of anxiety with that and fear. So, I want to work on my anxiety and fear because everybody was worried and everybody was just taking it to the next level, and it wasn't even as bad as we thought that it could have been. So it's like, look, honey, focus on not being so scared and taking things to the next level and having this wonderful imagination of thinking that the worst is going to happen. How about just thinking about, hey, this might happen, but you know what? We don't know the future yet, and maybe this is going to happen. Let's have a little faith. Let's have a little faith and hope that maybe things are not going to get as bad as that you might see it be. So that's what's going to help me with my mental state, okay? And then also my spiritual life. Am I praying? Am I being, more observant? Am I being more faithful? Am I being a better human being towards my other, people that I'm with and stuff like that? Am I holding grudges on people? Do I have a nasty attitude and things like that? Is there a way that I can work on that? Because I feel like if you are a God person, then you know that everybody else belongs to God, you belong to God, and we're all created right for a reason. We're here, so we're just as important as anybody else. So that's humanity. So, I feel like my spirituality goes hand in hand with my humanity and how I feel about people in general. So if I focus on that overall, I feel like that's going to help me have a better life and just live better, live happier, and be better towards other people. Because if you're happy inside and you're better with yourself, then most likely you're going to treat your fellow neighbor, your family, and everybody else better. So that's how I want to work about my health. And then my beauty. I put hair because that's what I'm focused on right now. Like what I'm focused on is my hair. Just taking care of my hair, having patience with my hair. Right now it's just curly. That was a whole process. It's interesting. I'm trying my best not to put too much heat on it, but I don't mind straightening it. But I'm also just slowing down when I'm doing my beauty. Also my skincare. There's also some changes that I notice as I get older. It's not as soft as it used to be. I'm seeing just slight differences. I know I'm being picky, but that's what I want to talk to you about too, my beauty. You know how they say, oh my goodness, you're getting older, your beauty's gonna fade, you're not gonna be beautiful. So guess what I do? I look at women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and I admire them. I admire the women who I see will be me in the future. And I think about how beautiful they are. I don't want to be a 20 years old. I don't want to be a teenager. I don't want to compare myself to a teenager. I'm a 30-something proud woman who's daily getting older. And if you're in your 20s, if you're a teenager, one day you might be in your 30s. And if you're lucky, in your 30s and your 40s and 50s. And there's different kinds of beauty in each stage that you're in. So that's how I'm approaching my beauty. I'm going to be, in my mind, beautiful in each decade that I'm in. I'm going to be beautiful in each decade that I'm in. I'm going to maintain my beauty appropriate to my age. I don't feel like my beauty is going to fade. It's just going to change. It's just going to blossom. And there's something about, I watched something that my dad sent me about older women and stuff like that. How if you're a single older woman, guess what? You have something called wisdom. You have something called intelligence. You have something called living life. And that right there is priceless. So that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm gathering these years and I'm falling in love with myself even more deeply, and it's nice. I'm enjoying my simple little easy life while I'm hoping for more at the same time, and I'm grateful for it. So that's how I'm doing my beauty. Of course, just maintaining my nails, maintaining my skin, maintaining my toes, having self-acceptance. I feel like that's beauty. As soon as you accept yourself and love yourself for who you are, then I feel like the world just opens up and it just blossoms, and you can see that beauty in other people. You can accept other people for who they are, their flaws, their weaknesses, their strengths, and that's what kind of person I want to be. It's naturally who I am, but I want to be able to accept people for who they are, whatever that might be, as long as they're not hurting me. Because if you're hurting me, then I'm sorry, I can't accept that. There's boundaries in that, there's boundaries. And so the next thing I want to talk about is my career. So I was reading something and it said, how did you live such a beautiful life at an older age? It was some random video that I was watching. And the person said, everywhere I'm at, I want to do the best that I can. I want to blossom. And I looked at that and I was like, wow, that's nice. Like when it comes to my career, I get kind of jaded when it comes to it because I just, maybe not being as active as I need to be. And I'm starting to realize right now, you know what, Nadia? Wherever you're at, why don't you just try to blossom and grow and see if I could be in an environment where I can blossom, learn, and grow. And I prayed for this job. There was something that I didn't like about this job. It was about organization. And lo and behold, we end up getting new management and they're trying to organize it. And anytime you're trying to clean up a mess, it gets a little messy. But I do see that it's getting more organized now. My mom said, isn't that what you complained about? Weren't you upset that things weren't organized? And they did add some organization to it. So sometimes you gotta be careful what you pray for, because even though it's organized, they're doing a whole bunch of extra stuff. It's like, wow, you're all doing too much right now. You're doing too much. But I like that. I like that it's getting cleaned up. I like that it's getting organized. I did ask for that and it came. So that's how I'm gonna do in my career. I also wanna use my career as a tool. Coming from an immigrant background with the way my parents are, they're so hyper focused on what's your career, what's your job, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be a nurse? You're gonna be a doctor? You're gonna be a lawyer? And even when I was gonna do singing, my dad put me in all these things. You need to be a superstar. If you wanna do the singing and dancing, you need to make it. You don't wanna be like the people who don't make it, right? They're gonna be hungry, not gonna have money. You need to be the one who makes it, so you need to work hard. So I was like, oh my God. Sometimes I feel like when my career is not going my way, I stop doing that. But it's like it takes away my value. Maybe I'm just not a career person, Nadia. I did what I was told. I made sure I found something that I liked, that I enjoyed, that was a good career, that gave me options, that, increased my lifestyle. But, maybe I'm just not that kind of career person when it comes to that. Maybe there's other interests, and that's where I'm at right now. I can't just keep doing what other people told me, my parents and my family, and expect myself to be happy. Or maybe being a career lady is just not something that's highly valued for me, and that's okay. My career now is something that I enjoy, that I like, but it's not my life. You know what I'm saying? My value system doesn't go with it. Because you could have a bad day at work and then you're gonna be grumpy at home when you come. I don't want that. So I detach myself, completely detach myself from my career, as well as my beauty. Because who knows, when I'm 60 or 70, 50, who cares? Maybe I won't be so beautiful, and I don't care, okay? It is what it is. So I'm learning how to slowly detach myself from outcomes and all that kind of stuff, people's opinions, all that. So let's talk about the next thing, love and home. I just want to make this little place that we live right now, and just cultivate experiences that nurtures love, that is accepting, that is cozy, that is homey. I want to make everything romanticized, like this pretty little cup right here. Like my blankets, like my plants, like my comforter, like my sheets. Just being so thankful that I have a place to live, that I have this couch, that I have all the little gadgets that I have in my home, that I get to make myself a nice, delicate coffee. When my husband comes home, or when we come home, we just feel home, and we just feel relaxed, and we just feel good, because most of the times we spend a lot of time home, especially if we're budgeting right now. The more that we budget, the more that there has to be more time at home, the more less going out to eat. So I just started doing things last year. For the last couple years, I made my home the most comfortable spot where I'm just itching to go home. Like, you don't understand. Like, when me and my husband go out, we're just like, oh my God, we're just ready to go home. Like, because we have our little dining room table, we eat our dinner, I make all my organic, nice food. He's home. Hello. Hi, we're recording. I hope you had a good day today. So I was talking about home. Mwah, love you. Okay, so what were we talking about? Oh my goodness. So just making it a homey environment, getting my pet. She was part of the homey environment, just adding more love into this house, bringing in more life. We come home, we're happy, we're relaxed. We love it. Also my patio, I pretend like I'm in a bistro. When I'm sitting at the patio and I look at a restaurant, I'm like, I can make that experience for myself. I'm telling you guys, it's all mental. It's just mental. It's mental. Even when I live in this apartment, it's kind of small. You know what I tell myself? I'm just living in a nice New York apartment. Because if you watch the videos, I'm like, my New York apartment, whatever. There's like people who, have these apartments in New York. And that's what I treat like this apartment. I treat it like a New York loft, a New York apartment, I still make everything pristine and nice. Just because it's an apartment, just because it's small, doesn't mean it can't be cozy, doesn't mean it can't be homey, doesn't mean it can't be lovely, doesn't mean I can't still have guests and invite people and host. So that's what home is for me. Then we can talk about relationships. I'm excited to say that I'm getting older, and all my good friends, a lot of my friends are here, but a lot of my friends live out of state. So I was thinking to myself, I want to have some more friends here. And slowly friends started entering my life, and I do have, friends I want is friends that are a little bit similar to me. They don't have to be exact. But similar to me, women who are, in that life stage where maybe they can give me mother advice, or just women who are serious when it comes to their life and who know how to have fun, but who are also happily married. I want to have some more happily married friends because I'm married, and they understand certain things, and just want to have that kind of thing. I kind of want to have friends who I look up to, or you know what, I don't even mind having friends who are better than me. Why not? Not like technically better, but just doing a lot of good things that I aspire to. So that's exciting. I have some women who entered my life that are like that. That makes me happy. Just continuing working on the things that I want to work on. I was listening to this one girl, and I always have this problem like organization, and I keep telling myself, you know what, one day I will be that organized woman. That is one of my goals. I want to be the organized woman who has all her stuff together, where there's not clutter, where things are just nice and neat, everything's in its little tidy box. So I'm working on that this year. And if you saw me 2-3 years ago and how messy things used to be here and how it is now, it is so much better. So you know what, there is hope. There's hope. So yeah, I want to work on my organization, my cleanliness, and just like having things pristine. I already talked about my parents. They're getting older, and my mother-in-law, so I just want to help them make sure that they're comfortable and happy with that. Friendships, my puppy, decorating, and also my marriage. I want to make sure that I cultivate our relationship, and believe it or not, the first year was kind of rough, the second year was kind of rough. Not like rough, but it wasn't like the way that I expected it to be. It was just like, oh my God, what's going on here kind of thing. And honestly, I hate to say it, I was so stressed out because I was a new nurse. It was stressful and all that kind of stuff, and dealing with being a new nurse, dealing with living at home, to suddenly being married, to suddenly being a nurse, to suddenly navigating my career. It was just too much going on all at the same time. So I think, unfortunately, I wasn't really cultivating in our marriage. I wasn't really cultivating in my relationship. I wasn't even cultivating in myself. It was hard for me to see his perspective, or even to value my relationship when I felt like I was drowning. So now I'm out of the mud. I don't feel like I'm drowning. I'm understanding life better now. I'm growing. I'm becoming more of a woman. I'm maturing. I'm seeing things for what it is. I no longer take anything personally. I no longer am allowing life to drag me. I am walking in life. I'm not being dragged in life. So that feels better for me. So when that happened, it makes me feel like I'm a better wife. So this year we've been cultivating, we have date nights and we hang out all the time. We do everything together, we're pretty close. But I kind of want to get dressed up and make it a thing. So I asked my husband, I'm like, hey, let's make it a thing. Let's have date night and make it a thing. It could be in the morning, it could be at night, it could be just something I just want to put something on the calendar to look forward to and say, that's our day. It could be eating home, eating in the house. It could be going to a coffee shop, whatever, but I want to make sure we're at least designated one day that we do that on the calendar. Also, of course, when it comes to my career is a tool for me. So my finance, the money that I make, it is a tool for me to use to enrich my life and to enrich other people's life, So that's one thing. Then we talked about my hobby. So, I'm singing. I was thinking about doing voice lessons because to get my voice, to get it stronger and better. So I was thinking about doing voice lessons, and I also want to get into the music business, not that kind of way, just be around people who like to do that kind of stuff, even doing things behind stage. Also, you guys know I like acting, but I like being acting and theater and stuff. So I was thinking maybe volunteering to help on set, to do those kind of things. Also, I like drawing, so just getting back to my drawing. And I realized if I don't put in my planner, if I don't set it up, then maybe that's why I'm not doing it. So I was thinking about putting in times to do these little things, just to kind of give myself those days. Maybe like every Sunday for an hour, I'll do artwork. Every Monday for an hour, I'll do my pottery. Every so-and-so day, whatever. So, but the two things I really wanted to add on or think about adding in is voice lessons and pottery class. Now, I do know how to make my own pottery. So they did say that I could go to, I don't need to, they said that I could go to the pottery place and just hang out there without taking a class if it gets to that, because the class keeps on filling up. So anyways, long story made short, my hobbies. I want to do my hobbies. Dancing as well. So yeah, the hobbies that I like to do is singing, dancing, traveling, pottery, my plants, dancing, doing my YouTube, reading, and things like that. And so let's go to the last and the final, but very important, finance. So we have a budget in system, and I'm very proud of myself, and I'm really proud of God and thankful for God for giving me a job that is paying decent, and I'm not slaving away working like a dog to make that much money. So I am grateful for that, and I'm making pretty good, I'm making a pretty good amount of money, and I'm happy about it. So I just want to make sure that I steward that money correctly. So we do have like this budgeting system. So I want to see if we could tweak some things in the budget, or we could, maybe I could just kind of calm down on my personal spending and just kind of invest that money a little bit more. I want to go ahead and, maybe see what I can invest monthly and things like that, and continue to work with the financial advisor and see what he can do. He already gave us a goal and kind of like talked to me. So I already know what he kind of agreed with, what the business plan that we had or the budget plan that we had. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of stick with that. But once that goal is done, I'm going to bring the financial advisor back so we can really work on some things. So yeah. So just tracking my spending, less consumerism, talking every monthly about our budget and financial goals as a couple. And my goal is to build wealth for myself and for potential offsprings, and for also to, I have some goals for retirement. I want to make sure that we own our home by the time we retire at least, and things like that once we get a house, and continue to have an emergency fund cushion for, the amount of many months, 6 months at least, 6 months to a year of emergency funds. That feels good, because man, it feels good knowing like hey, if my husband loses his job or if I lose my job, we're gonna be fine because we have like a cushion. That is a great and amazing feeling. So I want to make sure that we continue to have that. And just kind of use my finance as a tool for my life, use my career as a tool, and just to know that, I want to be balanced as much as I can, and I do believe in being balanced. It's not easy to be balanced, and sometimes one way will go down, the other won't, but I want to most of the time stay more balanced. And so that's what I'm working on about that. And then I wanted to just tell some gems. Okay, you guys, I'm talking so much, but this is like very serious to me. So I was just saying, okay, some of the gems that I learned from my life so far is I want to, for me, continue being direct, and I want to work on my communication, making sure that I'm not too direct and to the point where it's a little hasty, but to also forgive myself if I'm too direct, and as long as I know that I'm not being malicious or anything, not to take it personal. But I want to continue to do that. Also, I want to remind myself to expect people to be low vibrational, expect people to be a little off, and to not take it personally when people do things that I don't understand. And also, for you, maybe somebody treats you bad or does something that you don't understand, to not take it personally, and to know that everybody's just a human, and sometimes people have a bad day, and maybe that's why they're having their moods. But I am no longer going to try to figure out people's complex of why they're treating me a certain kind of way. All I know is that I'm going to have my boundaries and not allow anybody to treat me in the way that I feel like I do not deserve to be treated. Because if I treat people with respect, I expect that kind of respect back. That's one thing. This is just personal gems for me. You're not going to know why people do certain things, but just know how to protect yourself, and just know to do the right thing. If you do the right thing and you protect yourself, then everything else is just up to God, okay? And I put this funny thing right here. No more being nice girl. And that goes with that. Like, I feel like sometimes people they take your sweetness, they take your kindness, and then they think that they can abuse you or they can mess with you. So one thing that I learned now is whenever I see somebody is trying to dominate me or trying to make me feel uncomfortable, I either get away from them or I directly tell them like, excuse me, is that what you said? Or I just confront them right away and I just say, excuse me? And I look at them dead in the face like this. What did you say? Okay. And then I say my statement and then I move on. And usually I notice that when you're direct with people like that and you look them in their eye and you show them that you're not afraid of them, then they usually just back up and back off. Another thing is I'm not going to allow, this is like when it comes to work situations or just strangers I have to deal with. If I notice that somebody has that bully mentality or that bully energy, I'm letting them know that no, who do you think you are for trying to make me uncomfortable? You're not gonna make me uncomfortable. Like, what makes you think that you can make me uncomfortable and you think that you can dominate me? No, those days are over with. I'm no longer going to try to accommodate bullies because I wanna avoid them. What I'm gonna do is ignore them, maybe walk away, but when they bite me, I'm gonna let them know, hey, that hurt. Stop. This is something I learned from my age. It is what it is, you know? Because if you let people, I know it's for me, when I avoid things, let people slide, they come back harder. So you have to just go ahead and nip it in the butt right away. And okay, so the reason why I told you guys that gem is if you don't stand up for yourself, then who will? If you don't fight for yourself, then who will? You might get lucky for somebody else to stand up for you, but at the end of the day, even if I give you guys this information, if you're using it for yourself, if you don't actually put the action behind it, then nothing will change. If you don't actually, you know, and apply all these rules, be serious about these rules, then nothing will change, nothing will get better. And I know this from firsthand experience because I have my moods too. Sometimes I don't want to do all this. It's exhausting to be an awesome woman. It really is. And a lot of people will hate you for it. So expect the hate and just, you know, let it go. But yeah, that's why I want to just kind of bring that up for you. I love getting older. I love being the woman that I am right now, and I hope to get better. And I have some flaws, and there's still some things that I can work on, but I have grace with that. But the most important thing that I'm realizing is that accountability and responsibility at the end of the day, I have to be accountable and I have to be responsible for the decisions I make. Radically responsible, you know. And it's not to say that I want to blame myself for things, but you can't blame other people for your life decisions and your life choices. And even if something happens to you or maybe you've been victimized, at the end of the day, you have to be the person that saves yourself. That's what I learned about myself and my life. You have to be the person who saves yourself and gets yourself out of any kind of situation you're in, and believe in fighting for your life, believe in, you know, making changes and believing in yourself. So anyways, I hope this video was helpful. I talked a lot, but I love you guys and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Mwah! Bye. I swear to goodness, I feel like Dolly Parton. Like, why is this happening to me? It's just a dress. I'm just trying to be modest, but I can't help it. I can't help it. What's happening here? What's going on here? Is it because I'm gaining weight? That's what it is. When you become a woman, when you hit that 30-something, them hips get wide and these just growing for no reason. I'm just like, look, I'm just trying to wear my little cute little dressy dress and I got all this going on. I feel like Dolly. But anyways, what can I do? You know, I think I'm gonna get me a little bralette because I don't want to take this dress back. I love it. But I think I might get something to do something about that. I still got the tag, y'all, because I was like, am I going to take this dress back? Well, let me know, you guys. What should I do about this? Because I really want to keep this dress, but it's like, it's very distracting. I'm like looking at myself and I'm like, what is this? Anyways, bye.